Welcome back, guys. Today we are diving straight into chapter 3 of my book. And this chapter is called You Do What I Do. And it's where things really started to shift. It's where that sweet, flirty boy from middle school turned into this controlling man who wanted every single second of my life. I thought it was love. I thought it was closeness. But looking back, I see it for what it was, and it was control. So not long after we got back together, David started this thing. No matter what he was doing, I had to be doing it too. If he was laying on the couch, I had to be sitting at his feet. If he was in the shower, I had to be sit on the toilet. If he was outside working on the car, I had to be there handing him tools. He would say it all the time. You do what I do. It didn't matter if I just wanted to relax or read or just, be by myself. There was no me anymore. There was only we. And at first, he made it sweet. He'd kiss me, he'd smile, and he'd say, it's just because I love you. It's just because I want to spend all my time with you. And, to a teenage girl, that sounds so romantic, who doesn't want to be wanted like that? But what I didn't see yet was that this wasn't romance. It was control dressed up as love. That's easy to mistake. So, that constant checking in, that needing to know where you are, it feels flattering at first until it isn't. And if you've ever lived through that, hit that like button right now so we can spread this message further. It doesn't have to be that way. Don't forget, subscribe so you don't miss the rest of the story. And, I'm going chapter by chapter. So if you would like to read ahead, the link to purchase my book is in the description. So, after school, I would rush to his house. I would even risk, cutting off cars at the red light on First Street, just so I wouldn't be late. Because if I was even 2 minutes late, he wanted to know why. He wanted to know where I was. And, the light on First Street was just not a valid answer for him. In his mind, if I wasn't speeding to get to him, then I must be stopping somewhere to cheat on him. And, he would make his jealousy sound like love. Like, I just love you so much, I don't want to lose you. And then when he said it with a smile, and a kiss and that charm he had, I believed him, and I told myself, it's just insecurity. He's been through so much. He'll calm down eventually, but he didn't. He only got worse. We hung out at his best friend Nick's house a lot, and Nick's girlfriend Jill and I got kind of close, but even there, I wasn't free. The only way I could hang out with Jill in the house was like if she asked me to in front of him. Otherwise, I had to be wherever he was. One time, Jill asked me to go to the store with her, and, not a big deal. Well, we were gone for like an hour, and when we got back, David was furious. And I realized now or later that, it wasn't really about the time that we were gone. He was mad because he didn't have control over me while I was gone. And, that's when it clicked that every time we were apart, he questioned me, always. If I cooked, he hovered. If I was getting dressed, he was watching. If I was in the shower, he was in the bathroom. I couldn't even use the bathroom without privacy, or with privacy. I would beg him for space, just, can I shit in peace, And he would just be like, well, what do you need privacy for? I've already seen everything. It was awful. This was my reality. And maybe you're nodding right now because you've lived this too. And, if this is hitting home for you, I would love to hear from you. Just drop a comment, even if it's just a me too. And while you're here, don't forget to like and subscribe and grab the book, because these stories are raw. And, they need to be heard. And I'm not sharing it all here, but, people need courage to get out. Anyone who is stuck in something like this needs to hear this. The control wasn't always private. It followed me even to work. He hardly ever worked. So most of the time he would sit outside of my job, whatever job I was at, waiting for me. And if I took a break, I was expected to be with him. If I wasn't, I would get questioned later. And, it was embarrassing. I would have to explain to coworkers and managers and, why he was there and why he would sit outside the whole shift, or several hours of my shift. And, it was really hard to defend him because I didn't agree with it, But I told myself, if I just love him enough, if I just show him I'm loyal, he'll trust me and he'll change, But I lost a lot of jobs over him, over his control. And he never trusted me. So chapter 3, You Do What I Do, was just the beginning of the end for me. And it's when I started to realize that, love wasn't supposed to feel like a prison. It wasn't sweet. It wasn't protective. It was control. And this was only the tip of the iceberg. In chapter 4, things get darker. His control turns into punishment, and the abuse moves to a whole new level. So stick with me, hit like, subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter. And if you want to go deeper right now, grab that book. The link is in the description. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, and thank you for helping me break the silence. Bye for now.